Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be answering some of the most popular questions about basketball that are on Google. So we'll do some Google search, let the autocomplete take care of the rest, and then we'll talk through some of the questions that we see. My name is Isaiah. I'm with Player Development, and I'm a semi-pro player for the Triangle Shooters, which is based out of Williamsburg, Virginia. We're getting ready to start our season, and I'm super excited about it. Been putting in a lot of work. I've also started doing some individual coaching for basketball. So if you're a player in the Williamsburg area, whether it's middle school, high school, or college, look in the link in the description below, fill out the athlete application, and we can get started working on achieving your goals for this upcoming basketball season. So, all right, let's go ahead and fire up Google and see what kinds of questions pop up for us today. All right, what do you think we all should start with? About why is basketball? What do we got here? Okay. Why is basketball the best sport? Why is basketball so popular? Okay, and I see also at the bottom, why is basketball so hard? At least in my opinion, I think the answer to those three are very similar. And so our coach on the Shooters talks a lot about how basketball is a thinking man's sport and how it takes the most physical exertion to be able to play. And what he means is that you don't get breaks in play, and everyone plays offense and defense. So you compare to like football or baseball, you're moving all the time. And I think in terms of the popularity, it's really scalable on all different kinds of levels. So you talk about like beginners can have a ton of fun just shooting around and playing with their friends, all the way up to the professional level. And also, this is a game that travels super well because you can just be on a court by yourself shooting. You can have a good workout. Go ahead and check out my video on one of the workouts that I did to get ready for this upcoming season. But you can also bring one friend along, play one-on-ones or work out together. But yeah, basketball you can really just take anywhere with any number of people. And I think that's one of the reasons that it's so popular. Should basketball... Okay, let's see what we have here. Should basketball shoes be tight? But I have noticed recently that as I've bought a bunch of different Nike shoes, even with like the KD line and the Kyrie line especially, that those shoes tend to run narrow. So maybe that cultivates this kind of perception that basketball shoes should be tight. Should basketball players lift heavy? Okay, I'll tackle the lift heavy and the run long distances with a similar answer. I think there is benefit in terms of being stronger or being able to run as a basketball player. And that for me, I'm 5'7" and 155 pounds. If I don't lift, I'm gonna get pushed around by guys who are bigger than me. And doing a lot of lower body work, squats and deadlifts particularly, help me strengthen my base so that when I get low, I can actually hold my ground a lot better against guys who are trying to post me up, trying to box me out. So that's definitely one advantage to, if we want to call it heavy lifting for basketball players. Another deal with the long distance running, again, do as much running as you need to supplement your performance on the court. If it gets to the point where your body's breaking down because you're running these long distances, that's counterproductive to your goal as an athlete. But I will say that I did start running and conditioning. You guys know how much I hate running. It's maybe a mile, half a mile, but I'm practicing sprinting those distances. So I'm replicating the kinds of distances I'll be running when I'm on the basketball court, mimicking going down the court at full speed, being there for a couple seconds, and then having to come back at full speed too. So I'd say for any sport, not just for basketball, but being able to tailor your lifting and your running, basically your training, to the kind of performance you need on the court. You're never going to be running or jogging for 10 miles straight for basketball. That's just not how the game works. All right. Can basketball players smoke weed? That depends on the state that you live in. Can basketball shoes be used for volleyball? That'd probably be a volleyball player question. I would imagine that yes, you probably could. Though I think I've seen that volleyball shoes are a little bulkier in the soles compared to basketball shoes. That might be because of the impact to protect your feet from that. But in theory, a lot of the same motions. I mean, you're playing on the same surface. Basketball court and volleyball court are using the same court. And a lot of the cutting, the jumping seems to translate. So maybe you could use basketball shoes for volleyball. Can basketball end in a tie? I don't think I've heard of that. Usually you just keep playing overtimes until somebody comes out on top when the timer expires. Can basketball shorts be used for swimming? My brother used to do this. I don't know if he still does. I don't know if he has a proper pair of swim trunks now. But I guess it's a thing. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to stop you. How do basketball players How do basketball players get paid? Okay, this one was an interesting one for me because I had to find that out as I was going into this pro season here. So in the NBA, at least, my understanding is that you get your salary from your team, but the biggest athletes also you get sponsorships. Think about like partnerships like Nike with LeBron. My understanding is that NBA teams also have a revenue share system where like the money that the NBA makes from advertising on TV or selling the broadcasting rights over to like ABC, ESPN, or whatever other channels, TNT, gets split between the teams. I don't know how evenly that goes. At least when we were in the ABA in our organization, I think I remember being told that there was no revenue sharing. So every franchise just has to find its own sponsors, be able to come up with its own money. So my understanding is we get some money from ticket sales, we get some from sponsors in the community, and personally for us, we get paid on a per game basis. And to my knowledge, we don't get paid for practices and stuff. So that's one difference between kind of like the semi-pro to the professional level, where professional, like you're being paid, revolve your life around basketball, and semi-pro, at least at our level, you don't make enough to have that be your full time, in the hopes of getting film to be able to make it onto a team where you're getting like a full-time contract and full-time money, whether it's overseas or in the G League or in the NBA eventually. How do basketball players jump so high? Plyometrics, practicing being able to generate a lot of force in a very short amount of time, practicing explosiveness. And some of the ways that we do that are by jumping exercises. So that would be a reason why basketball players are jumping so high. In addition, you're also playing a sport where you are jumping repeatedly, and jumping itself is a plyometric exercise, so you're getting some of that training and that stimulus just by playing basketball. How do basketball players train? Okay, I talked about the plyometrics already. That's one aspect of it. What I've had to realize, there is so much that goes into developing your game, especially when you get to the more competitive levels. So there is kind of the raw physical ability. You talk about strength training that can help with injury prevention, can help with the boxing out and physical stuff on the court, plyometrics for jumping and being able to sprint faster, accelerate faster. You also have recovery and mobility work, which is super important for, again, injury prevention, also being able to pull off different moves, as well as just straight up cardio, being able to do all of those things, but for a longer period of time. As our coach talks about, he doesn't care if you can do all this stuff in the first and second quarters. Can you carry it over to the end of the second quarter? Can you carry it over to the end of the game? Can you maintain your level of play? And that's where cardio training comes in. How do basketball players use math? Do we use math? I think in pickup games, people don't, because we always lose track of the score. How do basketball players tear their ACL? I mean, I've heard a lot from different people across the interviews. Like you can check out the interview that I did with DJ. One of the things he talks about is over specialization for young athletes. Playing the same sport over and over again at a young age when your body's still developing and growing, you can suffer from repetitive stress injuries, build up wear and tear over time that could eventually result in something like a serious ACL tear. How should basketball players eat? And this goes back to the conversation that I had with DJ about recovery, is that first you need to eat adequately as an athlete. I think that athletes can get mixed up between aesthetics and function. So like there's this idea of like looking like an athlete. Maybe it's having a six pack, or maybe having a certain kind of body type or musculature. But the important thing is that as an athlete, your body does what you want it and need it to do on the court. Whatever your body looks like while it's able to do that is the way it needs to look. So the important thing is to fuel for performance and recovery. And of course, talk to your physical therapist or your coach or your doctor about stuff like that. Guys, thank you for tuning in. That was super fun to do, to explore some of the questions floating around Google about basketball. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you like this content. Again, if you're interested in doing some individual training with me in the Williamsburg area, go ahead and check the link in the description below. Catch you all next time.